Good evening and welcome to the June 7th meeting of the Board of Selectmen. If everybody rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, welcome, and we do have a public hearing this evening, and public hearing is to deal with the application for a special amusement permit for 5 Ponds Public House. So I will open the public hearing. Is there anyone that would like to speak? I would assume that we have from our folks, we have
letters from most everybody.
From the code office and everything else, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Sheriff's office and all permits.
Hoping we'll get a mini golf. So we are in the process, just so kind of a point of information, we will be working the special amusement ordinance, and that will come up later on the agenda, but we will schedule a public hearing for that. We're going to put in a provision so that we don't have to run annual special public hearings if somebody's just renewing. So anyway, any questions on the 5 Ponds Public House?
No questions were submitted. No statement.
So I'm assuming that we will close the public hearing. And
So moved, closing
okay.
the public hearing.
And second,
Second.
all those in favor? Opposed? All right, and we will deal with that later in the agenda. Any announcements this evening? Don't all speak at once. Just a reminder, next Tuesday, 7 a.m., the polls open and voting will be at M.R.S.A East, off from the West Road in South Waterboro. We will be approving the annual budget for the town of Waterboro, as well as electing Selectmen, Selectmen,
Primary.
School Board, and Water District if you're in the Water District, okay?
And the primaries.
And the primaries, right? So any
Plus the
primary
school
elections,
budget.
right? So state primary. So anything else that anybody wants to announce? And you can still vote absentee here until Thursday?
Thursday, I believe.
Thursday night? Or is it now right up to the...
I believe you can pick it up here till Thursday
You
at 5.
can turn it in
and
at
you
the...
can turn it
right.
in down to the voting.
Okay, additions, deletion of the agenda. We have one thing to add under new business, and that will be to discuss and approve the contract for the town administrator. So if someone would move to add that to the agenda as
So
item
moved.
9F.
So moved under F.
And have a second.
Okay.
All those in favor? All right, add 9F to the agenda. Discuss and vote on approval of town administrator contract. Okay, correspondence. Treasurer's reports are available. Senator Whitson's newsletter, message from Congresswoman Shelley Pingree, and Charter Communications franchise fees for 2022. And I know that will be handled later in the agenda, but we'll talk about them again. But if anybody's interested in any one of those copies, you can get it through the Selectmen's packet on the website, or give a call in to Laura to get a copy. Reports and staff initiatives, Selectmen's reports. Dwayne, anything?
The ZBA met between our meetings here, but approved Faber Oil's propane tanks after the planning board had approved them.
Well, they turned down
They-
the appeals, right?
Yes, they turned down the appeal, but went completely through it. It was very well handled, I would say. Faber didn't miss a beat, and it was fairly well attended, and
Oh, I skipped over an appointment. We do have an appointment this
We can
evening.
finish up.
Julie Hoyle, the librarian, is here to talk about fine-free discussions. So step up to the mic there, Julie, and I apologize for.
Oh, no, that's fine. Yes, so we've had a discussion at the board about possibly taking the library fine-free. There's a big push across the whole country, and actually even many parts of the world, to eliminate fines on overdue books, because it's just finding that it's not really making things come back necessarily any faster. It's not making a ton of money for your town. It's really keeping people away from the library, and in particular children and families who are concerned about the fines. So we're asking, the board had voted and they would really like to do away with the fines, if you all are in agreement with that. We would still continue to charge, of course, if anybody loses or destroys a book. People are still responsible for the things that they check out, but it would eliminate the overdue fines. So hopefully more items will come back, and the people who have kept things out because they just really didn't want to face coming back to the library, they tend to get much more worried about it than is necessary, but you can't seem to calm them down about that. So we wanted to bring that matter to you. And then also we had discussed adding a charge for non-resident cards, because that isn't something that we have had here. It was kind of just noted that it would be left to the discretion of the librarian as to who got a card, and I don't really feel that that's necessarily fair. I'd like it to be the same for everybody. So we talked about it as a board, and based on what the residents here pay is about $15 for the library, that if somebody who didn't live here, who was a non-resident, that we would be able to charge them $15 per year to have a card. We do offer free cards, not just to the Waterboros, but anybody who is a part of RSU up here. So that includes Alfred, Shapley, Newfield, Limerick. Those are still all free cards. Anybody who works at the school district also can get a card. And obviously anybody who works for the town is welcome to have a free card. So those are the two things that we discussed that we would like to change about the library.
if you get that all in writing right there.
Basic, you mean from the board?
Yeah, well, no, but, so that we've got it.
I had sent a letter.
Yeah, we have that.
And I think you each got one
Yeah.
that kind of explained.
Yeah.
Yep. Explained what we were thinking and why. And just thought that might make it a little more understandable.
That's all I got.
Okay.
We can vote on 9A.
So are you asking that we, okay, so we do both. Terminating library fines and charging for non-residents library cards at recommended fee, right?
Right.
Okay. So,
So can non-residents get a library card right now?
Absolutely,
They can, and we don't charge them?
right.
Okay. So this would be an additional revenue stream for the library for
It
non-residents?
would be.
Yeah.
Yeah. and-
Books not cheap?
I'm not at all. Absolutely not. Yeah.
I think it's very important that we have stuff in print
Exactly.
to preserve the record and, you know, truth or fiction, whatever you want to have it be, but I think it's important.
Right. Yeah, I think it's important to have a particular policy.
Yeah.
This is what the policy is, as opposed to, well, you let them get a card for free, but we can't, or,
Right.
you know, that's not really acceptable.
The only thing with the non-residents, a lot of these people on the lake or lakes here in town aren't really residents, but they're
But they-
taxpayers, and realistically, that's one little thing that they could have if they was here for the summer.
If they pay taxes to the town, they will get a free card.
Okay.
They just have to come and show proof when
Yeah.
they get their card.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
okay. We want to take up this 9A now, or do you want to
Yeah,
take it up?
can we?
So, yep, so just make a motion that we deal with new business 9A now.
I'll make a motion that we deal with new business 9A now while the librarian is present.
And do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor of moving it forward? All right, so discuss vote on terminating library fines and charging non-resident library card fees. I'm open for a motion.
And if anybody thinks we're removing a lot of money from the budget for this, it's a couple $100.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Right? So we're not losing bank here, and we're not making bank on
I
fees
think
either.
we scheduled like less than $1,000 for
Yeah.
fines or something.
Yeah. The
Right.
the average, I think, is about $928 from 2014 to 2020.
Correct.
Yeah, which ended up about being 0.77%.
That didn't even cover your postage.
Exactly. It takes a lot of time, so.
So, do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor? Opposed? You're all set.
Thank you very much. We
Thanks for
appreciate
coming in,
it.
Julie.
And all the children appreciate it.
It's not every day your government gets rid of fees.
All right. Let me jump back down, and I apologize for skipping over the appointment there, Julie, but Selectmen's reports. Dave, do you have anything?
I do have
Mike?
Just some awareness. Well, first of all, the boat launch, the public beach, looks great. The fence looks good. I saw Dave down there, and we were parked together, and we were checking it out. The dock is very appreciated because we don't have loose boats anymore
Yeah.
that could float into the swimming area. So I think we've done a good job trying to make that very safe. Yeah, but I would remind people that, you know, there is a safe way to boat. And, you know, we do have laws for boating, and it's not a free-for-all out there, and we need to be safe. I've got 3 phone calls about activity on the lake that is definitely very concerning, that probably needs to be addressed. It's a large lake, but it's not that large, and accidents can happen in small waterways. So I'll follow up with the warden service on that, but I wanted to let folks on the lake know that I've heard some complaints, and we'll make a phone call and see if we can get them addressed.
Okay.
I will say, I don't know, that this parking out there on Route 5
That
is still
too.
continuing.
Yep.
I can run through it 5 o'clock Sunday afternoon to get some diesel fuel, and there was 3 trucks and trailers, or jeeps and trailers out on Route 5.
I splashed my
Yeah.
boat this weekend, and it was very difficult
Wow.
pulling out with those vehicles parked across the street.
Where are they parking?
Right on the
On
no
Route 5.
parking signs.
There's something the contract deputies could address.
Yeah, I know.
By simply putting a ticket
Well,
in.
we were gonna change the signs to tow-away zone,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I don't know if we've done that.
we have not.
So maybe.
They
tee that up
did
with
get
Jason.
some no parking signs set up because that's all they had
Right.
at the time. And that was in the middle of the winter, so.
Right.
But
And-
we do have an ordinance in town here that does not allow parking from the Bagley Road to the old Alfred Road, or the Townhouse Road. So anybody that's listening might be able to pass it on, but
Yeah, I'm not sure
near
that,
future, we'll
I'm
probably
not sure
end
that
up.
there are residents parking their trucks.
No, I don't think so either, but
The one other thing that I wanted to mention is, I'd spoken to the previous Public Works Director about getting the speed limit down on that area of Route 5.
why don't you go ahead and see if you can get that done through the state? 'Cause
Yeah, I'm gonna
it's quite
reach
a
out.
process, about a 3-year process.
Yeah, I'm gonna go through Jason, and Jason can reach out to the state, but to try to get that down to 25 miles per hour, where the houses are very congested, and we have a lot of traffic with the boat launch, and coming down into Little Ospey Campground, we've got those signs that flash when people want to cross the street.
Right.
And people are abiding by those, which is nice, but when they're not flashing, they're still going through there at 40, 45 miles an hour. So a little tap of the brakes in that area would be appreciated.
Okay,
Thank you.
anything else, Mike?
Nope.
Yeah, and I know the fence looks great. The only real feedback that I've got is if you headed south or east on Route 5 with a boat and you try to turn down into Goville Park, they used to be able to swing out their truck out to almost, they were in the ditch, right?
Over the hill before long. If they had that fence, they'd be over the hill.
Well, the fence now is
It's just,
it's a barrier.
it's gonna be a bumper pusher,
Right,
yeah.
so.
But
just-
anybody with a 25-foot boat probably will have to come down to the intersection, turn around and come back.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to plan ahead.
Which is safer anyways.
Okay, anything else?
I will say that when they get all said and done, our Public Works crew will probably have to go back up, put a little more riprap in behind
They got
the post. I mean, they're planning on it, but the project is, even when they get done with the guardrails, there's still a day's work re-rocking that because it's pretty hard digging up there for them boys, and they had to go get an excavator and disturb some of the riprap that's laid there. But
I saw them with a shovel and it looked awfully painful.
yeah, they've done a good job. They're putting concrete underneath them poles.
Right.
They're doing a good job, and hopefully it will last.
Well, one would hope, right? So. All right, Matt, interim town administrator's report.
Several notes of items. I think some of you already talked about here, but can we set up a time for discussion to have a review of pricing for transfer station items brought in and a conversation about transfer station hours in the future?
My comment the other day to Josh, I don't know if we need I think we need a public hearing to change the hours up there to the dump. I think we ought to have a public hearing on that, but maybe by August or September as far as changing the hours, or days even, not the hours, but the days. Might be a discussion.
Might be nice to get some feedback,
Well, yeah,
right?
we're having an awful hard time manning it on the weekends or Sundays, and this might be a way of keeping the dump open Tuesday through Saturday. Maybe some late hours, early hours. Take this home and think about it, and then we can have that discussion. But and close it on Sunday and Monday, and that would give them a chance to get things cleaned up. The driver would come in on Monday, but that would give them a weekend. And as far as help, and might be a help to hiring the help too.
Yep.
Yeah, I would think a
It's-
public
it's-
hearing would be in order for
Yeah.
sure on that.
Yeah.
So maybe in a few weeks, we get Josh in here and
Yeah. The fees we can do
Anytime.
anytime. It's
Yeah.
not part of the ordinance, and it's control of the board, and we can approve the fees. I understand that he's getting kind of jerked around by different vendors, and fees are going sky high, and whatever the case may be, so, we want to make sure that we cover the cost that that's
Especially the stuff that we're taking in from out of town.
Right.
Right.
I'm talking the town of Hollis, but we've got to cover the cost. It don't need to come out of the town
right, taxpayers.
taxpayers' pocket. So,
Yeah, set something up.
shingles and mattresses and overstuffed couches and stuff like that are the biggest burden right now to get rid of. Yeah.
Okay, I spoke with Natalie. She'll be setting up a training session with boards and committees for September. We'll hear more from her for that. It'll be open to everybody for freedom of information and access, practices, how we operate at meetings. I think it'll be helpful for everybody.
Good.
We've already talked about Goldville Park, but obviously the fencing, ongoing. Dock was installed by B&B Docks just before Memorial Day. It might need another section at some point. It's a little shorter than we wanted to, but we were trying to make it work.
Could put a floating section on the end.
What's that?
Maybe a floating section.
Something
for
done. Yeah. And we had a few trees that were inspected and removed that were diseased and dead. They put sand and benches on the beach area. Trash cans by the trash guy. Jim Southworth was here earlier. Greatly appreciated. Unfortunately, someone over the past week has tipped over the porta potty twice down there, and also drove on the beach and dug it all up after it looked great the other day. Disappointing to see, but that obviously the beach will go away hopefully with the fencing, but the porta potty is ridiculous. So if anybody sees anything, give us a call to report the nonsense.
That used to be chained down, and there's some anchors there, unless they cut the anchors off on that platform. Chain went right up over the top and on the other side of the paddle walk.
For the
For the porta potty, yeah. And that's been there for several years now. I think we've changed porta potty companies, but it used to be chained down.
Okay.
They must be watching reruns of a show on TV that for some period of time show people that was a really great thing to do.
So Jason didn't have time. I know he's been right out straight with a lot of projects, so he gave me a quick snapshot of some of the things going on. Ditching and culvert work's been completed on Middle Road. Reclaim will begin on the 13th and pavement to follow. Ditching and culvert work is ongoing on Hamilton Road. Fur Drive has been paved. Culverts have been replaced on Deering Ridge Road, and they're just waiting for pavement. Water line was installed here to the community garden shed. They spent a couple hours yesterday digging that trench, and they had a volunteer electrician come in and, not water line, power line, sorry.
Power line.
Yeah.
Sorry, power, and did that. Transfer station, the pavement was installed out back, if you didn't see it, but that's been paved.
Down below?
Yep,
Yeah.
out back.
Oh, wow.
As you go down on the right.
Josh said it brought tears to his eyes.
It'll be easier to find the nails now to go with
Right.
tires.
And I think we mentioned about Friendship Park. I'll talk to Jason about the ball field, see if we can do the slicing, so we can do down there. I know that they've been having some conversations about irrigation, having some type of way to install that, and I know there was some big price tags for that, but
It's just an opportunity for our town to really have a nice field right on a major way and
I
have
think
little
we-
league tournaments and
that's the conversation Jason and I've had with
yeah.
what we can, with public seeing between Goldville Park, Friendship Park. Obviously, Kelly's been doing a great job down at Friendship Park.
Yeah, it's great.
I think we and obviously down at Lions Field, they've done some work down there as well. We have more to do, but
Are the lights done at Lionsfield?
they're on.
They're all done?
The lights are on, they're not nearly as bright as they used to be, or obviously budget dollars, it is what it is. I guess at this point we can add more to it, but they're not as bright, from what I've been told. I haven't seen them at night.
Okay.
But really appreciate all the volunteers for Friendship Park. There are several projects that are still ongoing and pending down there that we finish as soon as possible.
Okay? Anything else, Matt?
That's it.
Okay, let's move on to new
Building
business.
is over
Oh.
here.
This should be done within the next week, if all goes well.
You
He's
change
got
the
the,
windows too? The windows look,
The windows are replaced, yeah.
looks good.
Yes.
And right now, we're about,
Yeah.
we had 35,000 budgeted for it, and we are about 33,000 right now. And that's, so we're under budget.
and that includes this campway that really wasn't on the bid.
And the
column.
soffits.
Yeah,
Because the soffits will all be closed in as well, around the building.
Oh, great.
yeah.
All right, so 9B, we're going to skip over because we did not do the interview tonight. 9C, discuss a vote on appointing a member to the planning board and road review committee. So what is your pleasure there?
I'll make a motion that we appoint Stacy Walker on Everett Lane to both the planning board and the road review committee based on our discussions that we had with her this evening.
Second that.
Any further discussion? Sensing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Discuss a vote to assign a special amusement permit for Five Ponds Public House. This will run concurrent with their liquor license as per allowed in the ordinance. So what is your pleasure?
Make a motion to approve the permit.
Seconded.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. 9E, discuss and vote to accept the resignation from Ed Zimmerman from the planning board.
So moved.
Okay? Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed?
Now,
I put
9.
you second.
Fine. I was just gonna say.
we had a fella in here from the West Road that showed interest in the planning board, and we should get back to him.
Mr. Crabtree?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah,
In the case.
to see if he had made up his mind to what.
Oh, that's right,
He
too.
did, I did speak with Mr. Crabtree. He visited the road review committee. He thought it wasn't for him. He's now interested in his next decision as the Parks Committee.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
put him on, since you've already interviewed him, I put him on the next agenda to, I'm gonna check with him first just to verify he definitely wants to be in the Parks.
Well,
Right.
we may want to check to see if he's still got interest in the planning board too.
Okay, I will check.
So
Yeah.
with Ed's resignation, we're still at 6, right? After appointing Stacy tonight?
Yes.
Right,
And there's that lady that's coming in,
right.
she's also interested, yeah, for the planning board.
Okay. All right, 9F. What we added, this is to discuss and vote to approve the town administrator / fire chief employment agreement.
I will make a motion to appoint Matt Boers as town administrator, fire chief, as explained in the contract that we have in front of us.
Okay?
This
We'll
is
have
just for the public to know, this is a 2-year contract that we can review in 2 years.
Do we have a second?
Second.
As Dwayne had mentioned, this allows us to appoint or take the interim status off from Matt Boers. We will appoint him not only town administrator, but also as fire chief. He's done those 2 jobs in the last 10 months. We have kind of structured this as a 2-year term, and it would effectively terminate on June 30th, 2024. That being said, we'll have many discussions before then relative to the effectiveness of serving in both roles. So this does give us some opportunity to work with this kind of a joint position, and we'll see where that goes. So any further discussion?
So just so the public knows, tonight we were able to effectively negotiate the term from 4 years to 2 years.
Right.
Which changed my support for this.
Yeah, I mean, the original contract would have gone through Matt's appointment on his fire chief role, which would have been ultimately 4 years. So we did come to an agreement earlier this evening in our discussions at the executive session that we would all feel very comfortable with doing 2 years. So that's where we are at. So. Anything else? If not, all those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. And I want to welcome the new town administrator, Matt Boers, to our humble community. This kind of and effectively terminates any further search through MMA, and we will get documentation off to MMA to finalize their billing procedure and whatnot. We did 3 rounds of advertising and had multiple interviews, and we just didn't get to where we needed to be. But so we will move forward. And I think everybody's enthusiastic about where this might end up. So we'll go from there. So.
Just for the public's knowledge, Matt starts around 7 in the morning at the fire station. Works over there a couple hours with his fire and EMS crew, and we'll be over here from 9 to noon or so, and then we'll return to the fire station and usually end up back here.
Back and forth. We can be
back and forth, but 9 to 11, if somebody needs to see him in the morning, is usually the best time to catch him, or last thing at night.
And always contact Laura as well.
Yeah, and you can contact the Selectmen's or administrator's assistant, and she can either get a hold of him or get word to her.
Okay.
Will we delegate vacation coverage to somebody in the building here? A direct report of yours?
We'll have to deal with that, right?
At some point.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's move on to old business. We talked about us modifying our remote participation policy. This allows the board to have hold public meetings that are kind of hybrid, remote, etc. One of the suggestions last meeting was to allow committees and boards to also adopt a policy where they might wish to continue to conduct entirely remote meetings and whatnot. That is the individual decision of the committee.
Each board.
Right, each board. So we're adding this this paragraph, if you will. Committees and boards of the town may adopt this policy or write their own policy if they wish to conduct entirely remote meetings as the normal course of business, even if it's solely for the convenience of all the members to do so. So that,
I will make a motion. Are you ready for that?
yep,
I make a motion to adopt the paragraph that Dennis has just read to our policy, so that these board members can make their own decision if Zoom fits, even if it's just one meeting.
okay. Second?
I'll second that. Hopefully we get some more participation in some
Well,
of these
that's-
committees. That's the goal of this.
Kind of the drive of this, right?
Yeah.
So, any further discussion? If not, this is a policy, so we do not have to run a public hearing. So we will adopt the policy based on the vote. So all those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries.
Get one opposed.
Yep. All right. The last bit of old business. What happened to my agenda?
Special amusement public hearing.
Yeah, this is a special amusement, so we need to just schedule a public hearing, because we wish to change the
Amusement.
the special amusement ordinance. Today, every time somebody wants a special amusement license, even if they, or permit, even if they already have one, we have to go through a public hearing. So this change will allow us to renew without having public hearings every.
A special amusement ordinance was created here in town, and even if somebody comes in with a one-man band to play 1 or 2 evenings in some restaurant or wherever, even in the park, they've got to have permission. And we have to have a public hearing on it, so.
My understanding is that it is places that serve alcohol, according to
Right.
the ordinance, not in the park. In the park, you're not allowed to have alcohol. That's what my understanding.
So they have to, it runs concurrent with their liquor license.
Liquor license, but
Yeah.
in the park, you do have a liquor license from time to time, and
Right, for
it
the
wouldn't
blue-
matter if
right,
it was a
right,
band
yes.
or a one-man band, it
Right.
still needs to go through the selectmen, and we
Right.
have to have a public hearing on it.
Right. I would just meant the difference between the blues festival and the concerts in the park.
Yeah.
Concerts in the park doesn't have alcohol.
Right,
So like,
Okay.
like tonight, we had a public hearing on Five Ponds.
right.
That,
And they already had.
They already had one,
Had
and
one.
there's no issues.
right.
So who keeps track of the complaints and
If there,
the issues?
if there are complaints, which the ordinance says, then we have the right to not approve.
Okay, and we keep track of those in-house?
Yeah.
Because not every
Yeah.
complaint's gonna go to a deputy. It might just be somebody from the town hall and say, hey, did you hear about the noise last night?
The plans goes to the deputy, and then the deputies keep track. We send an email to them asking if there's been any problems before we come here tonight.
Or the
He's talking
photo.
about we getting calls here.
And a fire
So
marshal.
let's say somebody calls the town hall and says, I got a noise complaint, like, this is ridiculous. Does that go to the deputy on behalf of the citizen to keep track
I've
of?
never had somebody call, but I would let the selectmen know if someone did, but I would also tell them to call
Okay.
the deputy.
If somebody calls one of us, what should we do?
Tell them to
Call
the-
911.
Call the town hall?
No, tell
Call the sheriff's
the
office
sheriff's office.
and have them file and hold the complaint there. Right, that would make sense. That way it's all funneled
Then
through
it's
one
all
location.
funneled
that's
in
not more
on
stuff
paper.
I don't, it sounds like we haven't had that problem here yet, but
We haven't
the
had
plan would be,
one.
I think, if a citizen was to complain to town hall, funnel it through the sheriff's office so that it's logged there.
Logged in.
Because
So
that's-
anybody here can answer
Right.
that phone call, so we should get the messaging out to the town, to the
yeah,
administrative staff that tell them to call
Yeah.
the sheriff's office.
You
If they
can-
think they should do something, they
You
can. If
can
they don't,
make
it's
two
against law.
choices. You can either call the sheriff's department, or you can have them call it.
I
My
think all the girls
suggestion
know
would
that that's
be
a sheriff.
to have them call it, because they are the complainant.
Well, we can further define that if you want to add something like that language in the ordinance.
Well, we have contract deputies, so I don't see why we couldn't use them in that capacity to sort of organize this stuff for us. And
But we
there's-
We are at this point already.
And I guess we could simply follow up with that. If we create a policy even internally, we can forward that information to that contract deputy, saying, hey, FYI, can you create a card for that or academy for what?
For
Yeah,
record
there you
keeping,
go.
permanent record, yeah.
Because the call to here probably realistically is gonna come in a day after the incident, because we're closed that night when they're,
Yeah.
at nighttime when probably these people are playing. So the next morning they call, there's nothing going on at Five Ponds or wherever it is.
And a lot of people don't want to call the deputy because the deputy's going to go to their house. They're going to see the car there, and then it's nice if it just comes from us to say, hey, this is what we got.
I don't see it being an issue yet, to be honest with you,
Well, as we get,
as we change or grow or whatever.
we should have it in place.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what we'll do then. The town hall will contact the deputy on behalf of the complainant.
I think the
And create a
girls all
cabinet.
know that it's a sheriff.
But we'll contact the sheriff for the person who's filing the complaint.
Not usually, we tell the people to call the sheriff,
No.
but, I mean, we can.
What
We're
he's saying
suggesting
is
a
that's what
change.
he wants
That's
to
what
do.
that's what we're suggesting, is that
Oh.
we'll take that complainant's, the citizen's information, whoever's called.
Just review,
Process.
before we put the public hearing, which is going to be, I guess, we're open,
Next meeting,
right? Are we going to run the public hearing the next meeting or the meeting after that?
It'll have to be the meeting after that, because the
Okay.
first thing has to be the swearing in of the selectmen.
Right, so we'll run the public hearing, schedule it for, what's the date?
First one in July, right?
July, first meeting in July.
It is.
So let's just
We
make
could-
sure
We could
that,
hold a public hearing before we swear them selectmen in.
yeah, but
But
You
we-
can.
there's
Of
no,
course we can.
There's no rush on this.
There's no rush on
there's no
swearing them
rush
in.
on the, but there's no rush on this either, so let's do the first
Fifth.
meeting in July,
Okay, July 5th.
okay?
Yeah.
And just make sure that if we're gonna add something to the ordinance, so it's done before we publish
Right.
the public hearing.
And I would just suggest that we add some mechanism
Of the reporting.
for the town to represent the complainant to the sheriff's office.
Okay?
Realistically, that should go to the code enforcement, and he can make a note in his file, because he's the one that's
But the special amusement permit is
All done
it's
by the
authorized by
selectmen,
the
yeah.
selectmen, so. Even though the code officer kind of gets involved a
Yeah.
little bit. Okay, item 11, discuss vote to approve the minutes of the May 17th meeting.
so moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Abstaining.
Opposed, one abstention. Pending decisions, week actions list, any discussion of agenda items?
We'll have information for you on the 21st for any budget accounts.
Okay.
For changes.
As I looked over that budget last night, I don't see anything, unless something comes up in the next week or so that needs to be addressed.
We'll have a couple on the payroll lines that will have to be transferred, and we have to transfer our
This
cash
fiscal year.
for the, we'll have you get our money.
Yeah, okay.
So I think for the town budget that we're voting on next week, right, I looked at the fuel. I think we are way off on the fuel, so
We don't know where that fuel's gonna be
we're
next
gonna have
year.
to be careful, because it's not.
Yeah.
Fuel's way off right now, never mind next year.
It's already off, right, so,
Well, it is what it is.
Yeah.
The people are gonna vote, and some of them have already voted, so, we'll have to deal with it. All right, items needing signature, just the special amusement permit for Five Ponds. Don't forget to vote. next week, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m.
That's a nice
at
one.
Massabesic East,
Yeah.
West Road.
West Road.
Generous time.
All of those, other
Can I
than
make a
that,
motion to adjourn?
okay, do I have a second to adjourn?
Yep.
All those in favor? Good night.